Hello, everybody. So today we're going to learn Chapter 4, Collecting, Organizing, and Displaying Data. Let's start. The key words are data, categorical data, qualitative, numerical data, quantitative, discrete, continuous, primary data, secondary data, frequency table, group, stem and leaf diagram, two-way table, pictogram, bar chart, bar graph, pie chart, and line graph. In this chapter, you will learn how to collect data and classify different types of data. Organize data using teletables, frequency tables, stem and leaf diagrams, and two-way tables. Draw pictograms, bar graphs, and pie charts to display data and answer questions about it. This person is collecting information to find out whether people in this village know what government aid is available to them. People collect information for many different reasons. We collect information to answer questions, make decisions, predict what will happen in the future, compare ourselves with others, and understand how things affect our lives. The scientists might collect information from experiments or tests to find out how well a new drug is working. A businesswoman might collect data from business surveys to find out how well her business is performing. A teacher might collect test scores to see how well his students perform in an examination, and an individual might collect data from magazines or the internet to decide which brand of shoes, jeans, makeup, or car to buy. The branch of mathematics that deals with collecting data is called statistics. At this level, you will focus on asking questions and then collecting information and organizing or displaying it so that you can answer questions. You should already be familiar with the following concepts from working with data. The types of data and methods of collecting data. Primary data, collected by the person doing the investigation, and secondary data, collected and stored by someone else, and accessed for an investigation. Data can be collected by experiment, measurement, observation, or carrying out a survey. Ways of organizing and displaying data. A frequency table used for ungrouped data, a frequency table used for group data, and here the number of data in that group, not individual values. Class intervals are equal and should not overlap. Pictogram used mostly for visual appeal and effect. Bar charts useful for discrete data in categories and read the number of metals from the scale. Pie charts useful for comparing categories in the data set. Most line graphs used for numerical data that shows changes over time. So the line sloping up shows increase and the line sloping down shows decrease. And sometimes graphs can be misleading. When you look at a graph, think about the scale. The frequency axis should start at 0. It should not be exaggerated and it should be clearly labeled. Intervals between numbers should be the same. How it is drawn. Bars or sections of a pie chart that are three-dimensional can make some parts look bigger than others and give the wrong impression of the data. 1. Collecting and classifying data. Data is a set of facts, numbers, or other information. Statistics involves the process of collecting data and using it to try and answer a question. The flow diagram shows the 4 main steps involved in this process of statistical investigation. Identify the question or problem to be solved. Is the question clear and specific? Collect the data. What data will you need? What methods will you use to collect it? Organize and display the data. How will you organize the data to make it easy to work with? Can you draw a graph or chart to show the data clearly? Analyze and interpret the data. Can you summarize the data? What's considered in the data? What conclusions can you draw from the data? Does the data raise any new questions? Are there any restrictions on drawing conclusions from the given data? Different types of data. Answer these 2 questions. Who is your favorite singer and how many brothers and sisters do you have? Your answer to the first question will be the name of your person. Your answer to the second question will be a number. Both the name and the number are types of data. Categorical data is non-numerical data. Names are describe something without reference to number or size. Colors, names of people and places, yes or no answers, opinions, and choices are all categorical. Categorical data is also called qualitative data. Numerical data is data in number form. It can be an amount, a measurement, a time, or a score. Numerical data is also called quantitative data, from the word quantity. Numerical data can be further divided into 2 groups. Discrete data, this is data that can only take certain values. For example, the number of children in the class, goals scored in a match, or records passing a point. When you count things, you are collecting discrete data. Continuous data. This is data that can take any value between 2 given values. For example, the height of the person who is between 1.5 meters and 1.6 meters tall could be 1.5 meters, 1.57 meters, 1.5793 meters, or 1.5793421 meters, or any other value between 1.5 meters and 1.6 meters, depending on the degree of accuracy used. Heights, masses, distances, and temperatures are all examples of continuous data. Continuous data is normally collected by measuring. Methods of collecting data. Data can be collected from primary sources by doing surveys or interviews, by asking people to complete questionnaires, by doing experiments, or by counting and measuring. Data from primary sources is known as primary data. Data can also be collected from secondary sources. This involves using existing data to find information you need. For example, if you use data from an internet site or even from these pages to help answer a question, to you this is a secondary source. Data from secondary sources is known as secondary data. Exercise 4.1. Question 1. Copy this table into your book. Add 5 examples of categorical data and 5 examples of numerical data that can be collected about each student in your class. Look at the numerical examples in the table. Circle the ones that will give discrete data. Question 2. State where the following data would be discrete or continuous. Mass of each animal in a herd. Number of animals per household. Time taken to travel to school. Volume of water evaporating from a dam. Number of correct answers to the spelling test. Distance people travel to work. Foot length of each student in a class. Shoe size of each student in a class. Head circumference of newborn babies. Number of children per family. Number of TV programs watched in the last month. Number of cars passing a zebra crossing per hour. Question 3. For each of the following questions, state one method you could use to collect the data. Whether the source of the data is primary or secondary, whether the data is categorical or numerical, and if the data is numerical, state whether it is discrete or continuous. How many times will you get a 6 if you throw a dice 100 times? What is the most popular TV program among your classmates? What are the lengths of the 10 longest rivers in the world? What is the favorite sport of students in the school? How many books are taken out per week from the local library? Is it more expensive to drive to work than to use public transport? Is there a connection between shoe size and height? What is the most popular color of car? What is the batting average of the national cricket team this season? How many pieces of fruit do you eat in a week? So, that's the end of this lesson. Thank you and goodbye!